John earns €63,000 per annum. Tell me again what annum means. Per year. He has a standard rate cut-off point of €40,000 and the standard rate of tax is 20%. I highlighted them in green because they go together. The standard rate cut-off point and the standard rate of tax. Standard. Yeah? And if you look over on the left-hand side, I have standard there in green and a green box. Yeah? So I was trying to get you to put all them things together. So we should be doing 20% coupled with the €40,000. Does that make sense? Yeah? Now, obviously, when you do a question like for real, it's not going to be highlighted. So it is the word standard that pairs them up. So we have the word standard here with the 40,000 and we have the word standard here with the 20%. And we put them together. Now, is everybody good with that? Are we sure? Okay. So, if you have... Naomi, where were you? Sorry? The office, okay. With Miss Kenny, like? Anya? Okay. So, the greens go together and then we have to actually do the calculation. So, if you have the older calculators, there is a percent button. So you can type 20 and then you press, I think it's shift and the answer button, and that will give you a percent, and then you multiply by 40,000. If you have the newer calculators, they don't have a percentage button. So you have to write the percentage as a fraction using the fraction button, which is very straightforward. It's just 20 over 100. Okay? So you do 20 over 100, you multiply that by 40,000, and you should also get 8,000. Right, that's the first part. Is everybody good with that part, or does anybody have any questions? No. Absolutely sure? Right. So then we need to figure out the pink box. So based on my colouring, what's the pink box for? The higher rate. The higher rate. So the 40% is going to go in here. Then we need to figure out, it's not 45 because that'd be too much. We need to figure out what goes in here. So what is John's gross wages? 63,000. And up until this point in our calculations, how much of his money have we calculated tax on? We've calculated tax on €40,000 of his money. So that money has been paid for by John. So that's essentially what you do. John has earned 40 grand and he's paid for it. So how much more does John earn? No? How much? Sarah, I think you might have said it. He earns 23,000 more because 40,000 plus how much more makes 63,000. So that is where the 23,000 comes from. Does that make sense? Yeah. So the 40,000 was the standard, which means he's already paid tax on that. He doesn't need to pay any more. The 63 is his gross, which is his total earnings. So he only has to pay the money on the difference between them, which is 23,000. Does that make sense? Are we sure? Okay. So now, calculation-wise, it's the same. If you have the old calculator, use the percentage button. If you have the new calculator, you have to make a fraction. What's the fraction going to be this time? Always over 100. Yeah. So whatever the percentage is, put it over 100. If you have the old calculator, you don't need to do that. Yep. Okay. So the low rate of tax is the standard. We match the standard percent with the standard money. We did all that in the green box and we figured out our percentage. The other box, the high rate, they will give you the percent, but they won't give you the money because you need to figure that out. Okay, and that is just the difference. So how much at the standard rate, how much in total get the difference. Are we okay? Right, now I have it written here. What do we do next? Yeah, there's a big plus there in the middle because I want you to add them together. Yep. Okay, so 17,200 is all of the... Do you remember what this tax is called? What's it called? No, what's this tax, this whole thing I'm doing here? It's PAYE. It is one of the statutory deductions. Pay as you earn. Yeah. So, then there's one number that we haven't used in the question. 3,300. Can you see it there? What is 3,300? It's called a tax credit. And what did I tell you to think of it as? A voucher. So remember I was saying you go in and you buy your jeans for €150 and you have a €50 voucher? That €50 voucher will make the jeans less expensive to you. You only owe them €100. Yeah? That's what a tax credit does. It's a voucher. So we owe the government, or John owes the government, 17,200. He gets to a voucher or a tax credit of 3,300. So how much does he actually, oh crap, how much does he actually owe? 13,900. Is what he actually owes the government. So then the question is calculate John's take-home pay. So how much does he earn? 63,000. How much does he actually have to pay the government? 13,900. So how much is he going to have to pay his bills and buy his food? 49,100. That is how much John will have to pay his bills.